Hello, Internet people. Corrupt Reverend here, and you are watching my beginner's guide to making a 5th edition D&D. I guess edition doesn't really matter. Anyway, my beginner's guide on how to make a D&D setting and adventure. How are you guys doing today, tonight, this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whenever you're watching this? I hope you're doing fantastically. I'm not doing too shabby myself. So, had another uh, sort of extended break from this this video series again, and I apologize for that for anybody that's like following along and waiting for the next videos. I'm still trying to figure out a good balance of not too frequent because I don't want to burn myself out, but also not so infrequent that it's just sort of pointless to try and follow along. So I'm starting to lean towards maybe like weekly or bi-weekly. I think bi-weekly is twice a week, right? Not every other week. Whatever twice a week is, I'm thinking maybe twice a week. Something like, I don't know, Wednesdays and Saturdays or something like that. I'll just have to take a look at my schedule and figure something out. Anyway, enough of that. So, what have I been up to since I obviously haven't been here talking at you fine folks about creating D&D stuff? Well, I've been doing life stuff, and as far as D&D stuff, I have um, been working a little bit on the map of Takmir. I'm slowly getting there. I think I mentioned this in the last video, but God, like, something about city maps is just ridiculously tedious to me. Just drawing the little tiny boxes, and like, I'll stress way more than I should over like what shape the next box is going to be and this and that. I'm like, oh, I have too many L-shaped buildings. I need more squares, but I already have a ton of squares. Maybe a T-shaped building, but T-shaped buildings seem like they're more. Yeah, it gets kind of ridiculous. So, I suffice to say, it's slow going for me with city maps. Like, I'll sit down and maybe do like one little block of tiny buildings, and that'll be it for me for like the day. I'll be like, okay, that's enough. No, I'm setting it aside. So I have been trying to like make a point and actually finish this map, since I have a feeling that this map will probably come into play more so than any other map that I may create for this, because pretty much anything the adventurers are going to want will be on this map. Um, you know, supplies, important NPCs, this, that, and the other. So I've been concentrating on this. I've got all the farmland finished. At least it's shown. There's more farmland like beyond this map, but I mean, it is what it is. And I'm pretty happy with how the harbor side is. I don't think I'm going to add any more buildings this way. I might, but mainly I just have to fill out the Girdleshire, what's left of that, uh, and I'll be done with it. And I will be so happy when I'm done with it. So I've been working on that. Then also I've been working on trying to figure out a good way to create a map for Mirandil, this little village thingy right here. And um, originally I was just going to do a top-down map, like this guy, but it's Mirandil sits right next to a waterfall, and try as I might, I cannot figure out a good way to draw a waterfall on a top-down map, like without it just being bland, like an icon symbolizing a waterfall. I'd like for there to be actually like you just look at it and you don't have to look at a key and you're like, oh yeah, that's Melody Falls. So um, I've been trying to figure out how to draw it in perspective, or even like I tried for a little while to do like isometric, but that wasn't really doing it for me. So then I started trying to learn how to actually draw. Like maps are one thing. Like they're pretty easy. They can be kind of intimidating to somebody new to it, but really drawing a map is pretty simple. Um, but actually, like drawing a waterfall, I've discovered is not quite so simple. I've mentioned in previous videos I'm not an artist by a long shot, so I've been trying to teach myself how to do that. So I've just been practicing drawing waterfalls and trees, more or less. This was my first try, um, and uh, just first shot, never really drawn before, and I think it's okay. Um, I want to be better, so I've just been continuing to practice. I didn't like how I drew the waterfall coming off like a dirt. This, in my mind, this is all dirt, and that doesn't make sense because a waterfall would just erode further and further back, like rather quickly. So I had to change that to rocks and change the perspective down a little bit, and have some like schizophrenic shading. Like apparently I lost track of where the light was coming from, so the shading doesn't make sense in that. And then decided to try and add a building, and something about the building looks wrong. I think I just have it angled weird, so it looks like it's like tilted or something. Something looks weird about it. So, but like I said, these are all just practice drawings, and ultimately, the map for Mirandil will be something like this. It'll be a scene. You know, I'm just trying to get to the point where I can draw what I see in my head well enough so that people understand what it is I'm trying to convey. Um, so it's just going to be like from a viewpoint downstream where you can see the majority of the buildings. It's not going to be as precise of a map as this, but there's not that many buildings in Mirandil, so it doesn't really have to be that precise. It just kind of like showing, yeah, this is kind of what the layout of the village is. So that's what I've been working on in this past week or so. And all that stuff is really just kind of not particularly important for the actual adventure, which I think that's where we're at right now. I think we are at the point where we need to start actually writing the adventure. We've got all our locations fleshed out, more or less. I don't think I've gone. Yeah, I have. I've left some of the settlement pages just bullet points, and I think I'll fill them out more when I get to a point in the adventure where those locations come into place. So, I started making this video a couple nights ago, and I was just way too tired and just completely brain farting. So, hopefully, I don't leave anything out, as I might kind of be recapping. I didn't get very far before I decided it was bedtime. It was definitely bedtime. So, okay, time to write an adventure. This is where my beginner-ness is really going to come to shine, because like I really am not exactly sure how to attack this. Up to this point, it's just been kind of making a setting, and I feel like making a setting is kind of the easiest part of making an adventure. At least that's how it feels to me. Maybe I'm just getting like the jitters at starting the adventure, so maybe I'm building up to something that it's not. Who knows? So our adventure starts when the party arrives at Dormtel. So we'll make that a big heading. There we go. So a little, I'm gonna be kind of, I think I'm gonna be jumping around in the adventure, because like I'm starting off with the idea that ultimately, we'll go back to a notes section. Oh, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but after I started using the wiki, I keep a page specifically just for um, notes, nothing, solid, just things that I think of. So let's go into the notes, and you can see I mentioned that the the main goal of this adventure is going to be opening up Tuckmere Mine. Getting trade, revitalizing the entire island, because as it is, it's quick on its way to become just a ghost town type setting, which could be kind of cool if if the players fail. Then maybe make another adventure down the line that comes back to the ghost island of Dormtel. But I digress. So yeah, the main goal is going to be getting into the mine, dealing with the baddies inside the mine, and making it so that the people of Dormtel can go back in there and start working it again, and revitalize their economy. But you can't really just jump right in there, right? You can't just say, okay, you're at an island, and the mayor, there's no mayor on this island, but just to show an example of what I don't want to do, the mayor approaches you and says, we need your help. Please go into the mine and slay whatever's in there. You could do that, I guess, if you're just trying to do like a one-shot, but I want this to be a fairly long adventure. So that's something that they'll have to work towards, basically. And the way that I think I'm going to do that is by working them into the trust of the council, because in my mind it doesn't make sense for a group of strangers to arrive and then they're just given carte blanche to just do whatever they want and try and fix the problems. They could be con artists. They very likely don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just trying to pull one over on everyone. So it's not going to be like that. It's going to be like they have to prove themselves, more or less, or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, I have, other than the main goal of opening up the mine, I have very little idea of how to get there. So the PCs arrive in port, and since the captain is from Dormtel, he'll know something is up. So captain notices lack of ships, etc. So I could have I could say that the captain was describing Dormtel to the players on their voyage, and maybe have the players roll I don't know what it would be, an intelligence check to see if they can put two and two together. I don't know. Roll some sort of skill check to see if they notice the difference between what the captain was telling them and what they're seeing. And then if they fail that, just have the captain tell them something strange once they actually get on shore. So I think I kind of like that. And I'm gonna need I'm gonna want a text box description as they as they're coming in, something to kind of paint the setting a little bit. But I do like the idea that So yeah, I think this is going to be a bullet point type thing, and then I'll go back in. So PCs can pass skill check intelligence, maybe, to notice lack of ships based on what the captain has told them en route. If I'll put that in there. If fail, captain mentions it anyway once on land. So there we go. Because generally you don't want to have something, if there's a piece of information or something you want your players to get, you need to have more than one way for them to get it. Ideally, they'll pass the skill check and I'll be able to say like, oh, well, yeah, you notice as you're standing at the bow that there's like a complete lack of commerce going on in the port, which seems strange considering that the captain has told you how bustling of a city Tuckmere is, and how there's constantly ships coming and going and this and that. That would be ideal, because then they feel like they earned it. They feel like they feel more involved rather than just being told something. But if they don't pass that skill check, and that would be an easy skill check, I think, like 10 or something, and I might just have the entire party roll, just be like, hey guys, everyone give me a, or maybe perception. Ooh, perception would be better. See if they actually notice. Yeah. Perception. There we go. Yeah, see if anybody, chances are in a group of, I think I have 5 players, one of them will notice, and it'll feel earned rather than just hand-fed to them. Let's see here. I apologize if you guys hear any like strange like sucking noises. That sounds wrong. I using my little e-cigarette thing. I quit like over a year ago, but every once in a while cravings get you, so I like to, have that on deck. So, and lately I've been feeling like a little nicotine, so I apologize for the noises and whatnot. So we got the very first scene, more or less, right? They're coming into harbor. And I'll have to type up a little descriptive text box later. That should be pretty easy. There's water and docks and no frickin' ships. So once they get on land, what happens next? Either way, they'll know that something is amiss. The captain will be with them, and I'm thinking like the captain, at least for the first stage of the adventure, is going to be a driving force. And so I think I'm going to use him here. Where do I want them to go? Obviously, where do I want them to go eventually? Because they're going to go wherever the hell they want. But ultimately, where do I want to try and steer them? Well, it'll just be wherever they go. Wherever they go, an NPC will fill them in on the situation. Bam. That's one route I could go. Another option I was kind of thinking about maybe is having like a bulletin board with like, because the first time the island encountered this issue, they sent like a bulletin out all over the place. God, I got the hiccups. Random. Whew. Get the completely. I hiccuped away my thought. The first time that they had this, the island had this problem, they sent word like across the sea looking for somebody to help them. So I could go that route this way. It wouldn't be too much of a stretch for them to repeat that idea by like having a post saying like brave adventurers wanted to battle whatever it is in their mind. And so I could have something like that, but that just seems meh. No, I think I'll let them be clued into the situation, and hopefully they'll eventually want to take it upon themselves to solve the issue. But not yet. I don't want them to charge in there yet. So a few things that they could do. They could, well, they'll be in Harborside. I'm thinking maybe start them off with like something really simple. And possibly completely unrelated. Just basically, I'm trying to think of ways that they could like make a name for themselves on this island. Little side quests. So yeah, let's think about that. Let's think of side quests. In the harbor side, we've got a lot of inns, and I'd imagine like outfitters for sea voyages and such like that. Also densely populated. So there could be like a theft issue. Maybe somebody went missing. No, I don't think I want to go that far off. Maybe like if they stick around after fighting the big bad, then maybe give them some stuff like that could like spawn into other things. First, dang. See, like I said, this is my first time making an adventure, so this is where my noobness is really going to shine. We got him on land. They'll probably look for a bar, like a tavern or lodging or something, maybe. I'll say that the captain leaves them to go check on his brother. So the captain doesn't have any information right when they first get there. And I don't imagine like the captain would really be keen on taking the party with him to go visit his brother. Though if they want to go, that would be a good way to fill them in. If not, he can come back and relay that. If they don't figure out something else. So the captain leaves them. They're on their own, and he can point them to points them to any place they're looking for. Because like writing this, I have no idea where they're gonna want to go when they land. Um, like, if I was getting off a ship after a long voyage, I would probably go straight to the tavern. Um, but I don't know if my players will think that way. So, basically, I guess we need something for them to do that can hook them wherever they go. Um, I'm trying to stay in Harbourshire, or Harbourside rather, because I do have an idea for a little quest that involves the potion shop in Girdleshire. The potion shop run by the people of Mirandil. They're gonna need somebody. They're gonna need help clearing out the forest so that they can continue gathering potion ingredients, because they're gonna have like next to no potions. Um, what else? Gosh, I'm having a hard time here, aren't I? So let's go into notes and just come up with some ideas. Go to that, because that wasn't really a hook to begin with. Okay, hook. Quests. There we go. Help Randall in forest. There's one thing. What's something else that they could do? Man, you know what I really wish I had right now is like somebody to bounce ideas off of. But all my friends that are interested in this sort of thing are also my players, so I can't, they can't help me. Um, hmm. Maybe something with the Thief's Guild. I like that. I want to bring the Thief's Guild in somehow. I think I'll save that for later though, because I kind of want to have them be a little more important than just plain thieves. What else is in and around the island? Oh, find Terrell. And those will actually helping Miranda and finding Terrell. I'm thinking we'll both have this. They'll find Terrell even if they don't get the quest of finding Terrell. They'll find Terrell when they. Well, hopefully they'll find Terrell when they help the people in Mirandil clear out the forest, because I'm thinking Terrell is going to be in the forest, subdued by creatures. What else can we do? Go to Ket and clear out shrine, because I'm thinking the shrine, since so many crazy things are going on, the clerics have kind of let the shrine to Dumathoin be taken over by goblins and stuff like that. Eventually they're going to need to investigate Koldar Norenth. So yeah, I think this is what this video is going to be. I'm just going to try and think of like very broad stroke quests. And then after that, probably in the next video, we'll try and weave these quests together to make a bit of a narrative. Well, we're not going to be making the narrative. The player's going to be making the narrative and the story and whatnot, but kind of like basically how all these quests connect together and ultimately lead to the main goal of going into the mine and fighting. No spoilers. I think I already mentioned it, but if I didn't. What else can they do? Clear out the forest. You know, the more I think about it, the more I think that this is going to be a sort of short adventure. Maybe a little bit longer than a one-shot. I guess technically it is a one-shot because it's all self-contained. I don't know, I'm kind of iffy on the definition of a one-shot, but like in the back of my mind, one-shot seems like something that can be done in one sitting. But I don't think that's the accepted definition of it. So yeah, I think the more I think about it, the more I think this is going to be more or less a one-shot, you know, played across a few sessions. Or a marathon session. I bet it could all be done in a marathon session. So yeah. And actually that seems like a good idea, just in general, to start with a one-shot type adventure. Let's do that, even though I think that's what I was doing anyway. So let's continue to do the thing that we are doing. So yeah, in that case, I don't need too much to do, but I would like to have plenty of stuff in case they go off. I don't want to say off the rails because I'm trying my hardest to make it so that they won't be on rails, but I want enough to do so that they can always encounter something to do, regardless of what they choose to do, if that makes sense. So help the people in Mirandil. We gotta find Terrell. Go to Ket. And that one, I'll say the council asks them to do that, to do this. Mirandil thing can be given by potion shopkeep. Clear out the shrine. Clerics at Ket. Investigate Calder Narinth. That will come after. Okay, so now I'm starting to see the path that they can take. So, if they go and talk to the council in the Girdleshire, the council members will ask them to go to Ket to everything is falling together now. Whether or not it actually plays out like this is anybody's guess. Probably won't, but I'm liking it. So they go to the council to offer their help, maybe, or somebody suggests they go to the council if they want to help. The council tells them they need an update on what's going on at Ket, because goblins have been showing up. Ooh, I'm liking this already. Goblins have been showing up near Takmir, and normally they don't see goblins that far south because the clerics at Ket keep them in check. So they asked adventurers to go check on Ket. On the path there, they can encounter some goblinoid type creatures, simple, generic encounters on their way there, setting the scene for the fact that, okay, yeah, maybe something's wrong with the clerics at Ket. They get there, and maybe they they were ambushed by something. Yes, I'm liking this. Okay, the clerics at Ket were ambushed by something having to do with the planar portal, not just normal goblinoids. Something that's rallying the goblinoids, or maybe instead of like rallying them by choice, maybe it's like enslaving like orcs and goblins and stuff to do things for them. Yes. Okay. A a spectator. Yes. Because I was planning on having a spectator in. Whew, this is all making sense now. Okay. I love it when things like kind of fall into place. So, in the back of my head, I've been, spoiler alert, but you guys aren't playing this, and if you're watching this, it wouldn't be much fun to play anyway. So, the big bad is going to be Treandoril, which is the elvish sorcerer that helped close the planar portal the first time it happened 200 years ago. Turns out that he was not like going in to help. He was. I haven't figured it out exactly, but he was trying to use the power of the planar portals for some means or the means to some end. He ended up getting stuck in there and turned into a Nothic. Nothic is just like a wizard or an arcane magic user that basically goes crazy in pursuit of arcane knowledge and like hella mutated and stuff. There's creepy creatures. But anyway, that's going to be the big bad, but I'm also going to pair him up with a spectator that he summoned. Because I'm thinking like he got sealed off, so he still had access to the portal, so he could go in and let's say he went to the abyss and slayed a beholder to get the ice stocks necessary to. That's not really important. He has a spectator. How about that? And the spectator is guarding his sort of inner sanctum, deep in the mines where the actual portal is. And the spectator, while he's doing his duties and stuff, he's been he or she, it, I guess, has been like creating its own little army for its own amusement because they're kind of crazy themselves, telepathically, and yeah. So we can, so the goblins and all that junk. I don't know who exactly will be attacking Ket, but the creatures that are attacking Ket, they're not like. Granted, yeah, they would attack anyway if they wanted to, but they wouldn't assemble like this. They were assembled by the spectator, summoned by Treandoril, and he. I don't know if spectators really think that far ahead as far as like a main plan. They seem kind of like just crazy and chaotic, so he might just be setting them out to cause chaos. So if the players might be able to like find this out, maybe they catch a goblin and somehow de-link it with the spectator, and the goblin's able to tell them, like, we've been under control or whatever, but we hate you anyway, and we would have killed you, but it's just not like this. So yes, that's what happened. So they get to Ket. They find out that Ket has not necessarily been destroyed, but they're hurt, and like there's not many of them left. Ah, yes, this makes perfect sense. This would help make the the decision of the council sending the adventure party into the mines, it would make more sense because most of their warriors have been taken out. Yes. So, yeah, they find that out. And from there, they go... well, from Ket, they find out that they've been having these issues. So they're sent to the shrine to clear them out or propose a truce or do something. Truce will not work out well for them since they're all going to be under control of the spectator. From there, assuming they're successful, or even if they're not successful, they'll go back, and they'll make their way back to council. And also, something that crossed my mind is that before they go to Ket, they may decide to stock up on potions, which is when they'll find out about the Mirandil quest. So that'll be a little side thing that they could do. Yeah, okay. I think I've got a lot to work with here. It's just going to be a matter of like just little tweaks and building encounters and stuff. I think next video maybe I'll show building encounters, because that's something I haven't really done, is actually, putting together the entire a combat encounter. So that should be kind of fun too. I don't know if we'll get to it next video, but hopefully, maybe. If you want to see me struggle with creating a combat encounter, leave a comment and tell me to. So yeah, I think that's where I'll leave this video. I'm really happy, even though it's a really short list, right? It just gave me so many ideas of how everything connects together, and like it really just reinforces the idea that brainstorming, just throwing out ideas, is a really useful tool for anything creatively motivated. Writing, doing D&D stuff, just like even ideas that you may not like, just throw them out there, and they may spawn into something different. So, yes, I'm happy with this. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. And until next time, take it easy.